What's up, everyone? I'm Brandon, and you're watching John Boat River Cats. Super late start this morning, man. And if anything could go wrong this morning, it did. But I got up late for one. I finally got out of bed like 6:15 this morning. Got to the store, got my coffee, spilled my coffee all over the floorboard of my truck. That's going to be fun cleaning up. After I left the store, went to Walmart, had to buy a cast net because I forgot that I lost my cast net last week in the spillway. So I had no means to get bait other than hook and line, which I didn't feel like messing with this morning. So went to Walmart, got a cast net, yada, yada, yada. Got to the spillway, got some bait, not a lot of bait. Got some small thread fin and a fairly decent sized gizzard shad, about an 8-inch gizzard shad. And got to the lake, got my boat unhooked, was getting ready to put it in the water. I was getting my GoPro gear out and found out I did not have the SD card in my GoPro. So I had to turn around and go back to the house and get that. So now we're back out here. It's probably, I don't know, I'm gonna say close to 11 o'clock in the morning. But beautiful day, clear water. It's not gonna be super duper hot. We're gonna try to get on some fish for y'all and see if we can't catch some eaters. I've got a buddy of mine, he's been wanting to fish with me for the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. We've been good friends for about 15 years. And he's gonna meet me over here at the boat ramp. I'm in a cove really close to the boat ramp because my boat has some leaks in it. And if I put a second person in here, it puts a lot more weight on the front, which likes to force more water through those holes. Normally when it's just me, I can trim the motor up to where it pulls the bow of my boat up, and I don't really have to worry about too much water getting in here. I have patched them a bunch of times. There's a crack in the hull that keeps spreading. Just keeps getting worse and worse. But we got a beautiful area here. I mean, it's a gorgeous. Somebody's been out here doing some landscaping, making a little rock wall here. It's got some pretty grass, nice little fire pit, and a log to sit on. It's a great little area. Over here, there's a creek that comes in, a little feeder creek, and it's a little deeper right there. And this channel, I mean, this cove and many coves like this cove are good places to catch some channel cats. So we're gonna cut up some small chunks and cast some baits out on the bottom and see if we can't get any. I said I got just a little bit of bait this morning. That's what I meant. This is pretty much what we got to work with. I'm gonna throw a full gizzard shad on, or a thread fin shad on. I'm probably gonna use this smaller one here. And that bigger gizzard shad, we'll be cutting that up into pieces, small pieces of bait. I'll cut it probably about right there. And I'm gonna toss that tail right there. We're gonna throw that on this 6/0 hook here. Alright, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook them right through the lip and out the nostril. And it'll look something about like that. I'm just gonna cut some really small chunks, and I mean really small chunks. And I'll end up cutting the gut pocket out of here, like so. And like I said, just a really small chunk of gizzard shad there. And we'll throw this one a little more out that way. Oh, we're getting a bite here, y'all. Check that out. On the thread fin already. I gotta find a rod holder for this one. I don't know if he hit it and swam with it or what, but he hit it for sure. Got good fresh bait. So yesterday was a bust. I was gonna do a catch, clean, and cook video on channel cats, but I went to a lake called Falls Lake. It's a local lake, pretty close to my house. It's known for channel cats. It's got some small blues in it, and it's also known for bullheads. If you guys don't know about Falls Lake, Falls Lake is a very big pleasure lake, especially at the ramp I go to. That's pretty much all you see are wake boats. And I mean wake boat after wake boat after wake boat after jet ski after wake boat. So then my buddy showed up. I went to the boat ramp, picked him up, and we went maybe, I don't know, 200-300 yards to a cove. We were fishing in the cove for a while, weren't getting any luck. So we decided to move out to the main creek channel. Creek runs through the creek channel, and then it's got little coves that dip off the creek channel. He ended up catching a bullhead. It was way too small to even think about cleaning and cooking. And I mean, every 10-15 seconds there was a wake boat going by, and it just kept throwing water in the back of my boat. My boat's getting full of water from these freaking wake boats. I guess where I was parked, it was just perfect for, it was like an ocean effect. So it was like a beach. And then, you know, the water would come back down and undercut the wakes that were coming and turn them into waves pretty much. And they were coming over the back of my boat so much and turning my boat sideways, just parallel with the bank. And then they were splashing over the side of my boat. So I said, you know what? Screw this lake. Falls Lake is a lake I cannot stand, and I remembered why yesterday. There's just too many boats. I thought Lake Gaston was bad. Falls Lake is hands down the worst for pleasure boats. I'm gonna give y'all a little backstory on where I grew up, how I grew up, and how fishing pretty much just became part of my life. I was living with my dad, and I was going to my grandparents' house pretty much every day after school because my dad worked late. And they had a pond. They had a pretty big pond in their backyard that was owned by another gentleman that lived on the other end of the pond. And pretty much I'd get out of school, I would do my homework, and I was heading straight to the shed, grabbing a fishing pole and a tackle box, and I was hitting that pond. My dad had a little 10-footer aluminum John boat out there. I remember one day I was fishing with a jitterbug on the at the dam of the pond, and I threw out there one time and plop, 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 bam. Big bass, about a 4 or 5 pound bass. Now this is a big bass for me as a 10, 11, 12-year-old kid. It was about a 4 pound bass. Bam, slams that. So I wanted to show my grandfather. He was pretty impressed by it, and they had a big wash pail, big metal wash pail. If you grew up around old school folks, you know what a big metal wash pail is. So I filled that up with some water and set him in there, and I went right back down to the same spot. Threw that jitterbug back out. Plop, 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 plop. And bam, another one hits it. There was another one around the same size, 4 or 5 pounds. From then on, I was hooked. I mean, I was hooked on fishing, for sure. And of course, you know, they had a couple of cane poles and a compost pile. If you don't know what a compost pile is, it's where you take your vegetable trimmings and coffee grounds, anything like that, and you put it all in a pile. And what it ends up doing is turning into soil. And it turns into a very fertile soil. Pretty much like a very, a really natural fertilizer. And that's what we used in the garden. But when you get a compost pile started, what you get are worms. You get a lot of worms. So I was digging in that compost pile, digging out worms and throwing them on a hook on a cane pole. And right there in their backyard, there was a nice little spot with a tree out there. There was all kinds of brim in that area. It was real shallow. There was a pond in the hometown that I was living in when I was 13, 14 years old. I was out there with a culprit worm. I mean, everybody knows what a culprit worm is, with a little bullet weight. And I was out there slaying bass in that pond. Of course, that pond was quite a bit smaller than the pond at my grandfather's house. So all the bass in there were probably 3/4 pounds, 2 pounds, anywhere from 3/4 pounds to 2 pounds. Got a bullhead. And bullhead catfish. Oh yeah. They're a little hard to open. Yeah, that's a little bullhead.
Yeah. Should I keep them?
Nah, too small. See if we can get one bigger. It's a fish though. Hanging out on the bank right there.
All right, so they're here.
Yeah. All in all, it was a pretty good day hanging out with my buddy, doing some fishing, wetting a hook. Don't forget, guys, if you like the content, slam that like button, share the video with your friends and family, cast a comment down below, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you hit that notification bell, you'll know next time I put a video out, anytime I put a video out. It's been John Buck River Cats with another one. Catch you on the next one.